Alrighty, big welcome everyone for tuning in. We are going to have a quick chat about the R3 and updates since the stream yesterday. So I got in touch with RealSimulators via email, and Alberto was very quick to get back to me, which was excellent. And he pointed out that I was using an old version of the RealSimulator software and also an old firmware version. So I've gone ahead and updated those on his recommendation, and that seems to have done the trick. Initially when I was getting in, the calibration was still out, and then I left it just for a little bit after doing a calibration, and it fixed itself. So we are good to go here. Twitch DCS doesn't look like it's working for some reason. It's a bit weird. I'll have to update that. Jabbers just popped in the other day. But anyway, let's have a quick look at what's going on here now. So when I tested this out before in the app, it had fixed itself. So if we have a look here, half pull, back to 0. All the way left, back to 0, back to 0, back to 0. So let's do a full control loop here, and that's back to 0. So that is now centering absolutely perfectly, which is really nice to see. Let's go ahead and jump in to the pit. And as you'd expect, this should be flying really nicely now. This is only a very quick update on my previous videos on the R3. But in a nutshell, no, just the one full metal cookie, just the R3 FSSB base and the Viper grip, the F16S GRH. So let me jump in the pit here. I'm just gonna turn this down just a bit. But they were very, very responsive via email. Obviously, they disagreed with my comments about the quality of their switches, but that's to be expected. However, they said they would take that into consideration in future revisions. They pointed out that they've selected those switches from Japan. They are exactly the same switches between the SGRH and the Collector's Edition, as Jabbers pointed out. So the stick that's $300 more than this one has exactly the same switches. They pointed out that, in their opinion, that these are good quality switches, and they've sourced them because they're going to be available on the market for a very long time. And then I think they said that they're comparable to the switches in the real Viper. In my opinion, you know, having used military switches in real life, I don't think that these stack up, but that's just my personal opinion. And I'm still disappointed in the CMS switch. If that was a better quality switch, I'd have a lot less issue with the stick. But in terms of flying with the stick, it's really pleasant to use. Let's just go ahead and jump into Viper here. Full metal cookie, or was the previous stick something else? The previous stick, which is right here, is the Thrustmaster Warthog grip. You can see there. And that is a lot heavier. Full die-cast metal, but just because it's heavier and it's made out of metal doesn't mean it's better quality. In my opinion, the switches feel nicer on this, but there's extra functionality in the SGRH from RealSimulator that isn't in the Viper grip, or the A10C grip from Thrustmaster. I covered off on a lot of that in my previous VODs on the stick, but the biggest advantage has to do with the rotary selector that is under the hat, which allows you to switch between profiles on the grip through the software. So if you're a BFM guy like me, or you hop between different airframes a lot, there's a rotary selector. I'll show you what I mean by pointing out where it sits. You see this ring? See this ring here underneath the trim hat? Well, that ring's there on the RealSimulator grip, except it actually rotates. It's a rotary. How's it going, Kennedy? Good to see you. Revelations. Hello, buddy. Right, yeah. So that rotary, yeah, as I say, allows you to switch between different profiles, and what's the significance of that, you might ask? Well, in the software you can say, okay, on profile 1 I want to fly my Hornet with a y-axis pitch actuation pressure of say 5 pounds and 3 pounds in roll, and then you can have a separate profile for a Viper, and you can say on the Viper I want 4 pounds in pitch and 2 pounds in roll, and so on and so forth, and you have up to 8 profiles that you can do that with. Now, not only do those profiles carry through on pressures, they have all the other stuff attached to them as well. So all the bindings as well, and that's simply done with that rotary there. So that's pretty cool, and I think I will end up using that for various aircraft that I BFM in, if I want some changes there. But the other thing that it's got, which the Thrustmaster grip doesn't have, is the 5-way switches everywhere. So while I have been heavily critical of what's in my opinion poor quality of the switches themselves, in terms of, they don't feel like mil spec or even aviation grade switches. They are 5-way switches. So how's it going, Jester? We fixed the issue, mate, I think, with regards to the with regards to centralizing this. I just realized you guys don't have the right view up here, but anyway, let me go back to this view here for a second. Okay, so you can see at the moment that's perfectly centered, full half pull, back to center, 0, back to center, back to center, back to center, full wipeout, back to center. Absolutely perfect now. Hey Mako, how's it going? Yep, heard back from them. The customer service was excellent, have to be honest. They were super responsive and gave me exactly what I needed to fix the issue. So basically they said to me, hey, you're running an outdated version of firmware, update to this version, and you're running an outdated version of the RealSimulator app. So I updated the firmware and then updated the let me just fix something for you guys real quick. There we go. So updated the firmware, updated the app, and then when I got in, it was still centering aft by about it was a good 7 or 8% off, like quite a lot when I first got in there. And they told me, okay, when you get in, do the centralization. So that's take it out to one side so you can see it actually happen, and then pinky to press, paddle to press, trigger to press, and you see the red dot leap back towards the center there, and then let it go. Now, when I did that, initially the red dot was still sitting aft here by about 8%. And then I left it, I went to my desktop and I went to go do some stuff, and I came back and it was zeroed like this, perfect. And now every time, no matter where I go, it's coming back to 0. That's absolute values. You see if I go to percentage here, you can see it should say 0% there, and we'll just do that. No matter how many pulls I do, that's zeroing absolutely perfectly now. So they were bang on with their suggestions. Yep, really happy with that. As I said, they said that they would take into consideration my comments. They didn't agree with me about my criticisms about the switches being poor quality. And that's just a difference of opinion, Of course, they're going to say, well, we think they're really good quality switches. They also had to go with some marketing considerations, they said, in regards to we needed to choose. In fact, let me read the email to you. How about I do that? Rather than me just trying to paraphrase it, I'll actually read out what they wrote. Let me just get my phone real quick. But overall, in terms of a company, I'm really happy with them. They're ultra responsive. They really know their product well. Really good customer support. So if you buy one of these and you have any problems, just email them. They'll get back to you within a day. I sent them the video of the review and I said, here are the problems I'm having. Also unhappy with the quality of the switches. They said, first of all, I'm so sorry about your switches feeling what you feel as cheap. In reality, it's the best switch available from the Japan market in this range of price. Next range, it's the military one, and the price, as you know, is out of home purpose. So they're Spanish, so their English is a little off. But they said, of course, we can talk about where it goes the money you pay for the grip, and for sure it's not in the switches. But we have select this switch for 2 reasons: quality and the time in market. We need the switches that will be available for many years in the market. And then they said in a separate email, hi, I've looked at your video. Of course I don't agree with some of your affirmation about switches. I attach you a picture of the real military switches populated in the real grip and our military grade grips. As you can see, the real switches have plastic cups as well as ours. As you can, I'm not sure what he's referring to with regards to plastic cups, but maybe plastic switches is what he's meaning. And he says, as you can see, the shape of the CMS cup is just as our cup, with sharp edges We have done the grip as we would love when we were 25 years old, as good as possible and as powerful as possible. Let me just this one. Oh, it wasn't in DCS. I'm reading this email to you guys. As you can see, in the real life military version, some cups are matte, and others there are no difference between production years and version, but all cups are plastic, as ours most of the time, and always in nowadays version. So the English is really a little bit difficult to understand, but I think what he's getting at is that what they're trying to say is that the switches used on the real Viper grip, as far as I can ascertain, he's saying that those are actually plastic as well. I said to him, look, from my time flying the J model, we had a stick on the center console that was very close to what a fighter has in terms of, you know, it's a separate grip on the center console on the J model that has metal switches on it. You know, I pointed out to him that I'm well aware what a military grade switch should feel like, and these don't come close in my opinion. And then he just got back onto it and said, you know, this is how I want to help you. So he pointed out the firmware and the app version, and that ended up fixing my issue. I said, thank you for the feedback. And that was good. The relationship ended well. So I think they're a great company. I think they really know their stuff well. They're ultra responsive, very helpful. So I do hope that in future they implement metal. Or at least a thicker plastic tactile switch for the consumer market. You know, I guess it's one thing to say, okay, in our estimation, this is exactly what the military grade switches are like. But these are not very nice switches to actually feel out. And I hope they replace them in the future with something a bit nicer to the feel. But the actual stick itself, Angry Amigo, thank you for the follow, dude. Welcome to the channel. Sorry I missed that, I didn't get the alert just there. But in regards to how this stick is to fly with, ultra accurate. Let me just jump back into DCS here. I'll grab a new jet real quick. What are you guys looking at? Oh god. Just gonna give you guys the camera again. Okay, so I'm gonna whoop. Right, I'm just bringing the camera back into view for you guys here, and I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger than I would normally make it on a stream, just so you can see the advantages of this stick. Because there are a few people here who maybe haven't seen the R3 before. Alright. You guys can see the stick now, yeah? A bit bigger than I'd normally make it, but this is just for demonstration purposes. Because although I've been really critical about the quality of the switches, I do want to actually tell you guys about everything that's good on this stick, because there is a lot to rave about here in terms of what you get for the money and what it actually does that you perhaps can't get on other products. So, okay. First of all, I think this stick comes into its own in direct FBW jets. So jets like the Mirage and the Viper that have a very responsive, snappy fly-by-wire system. The R3FS SB, in my opinion, is unparalleled by any other product on the market in terms of how it feels to fly these airplanes with a stick that has no movement and is force sensing. So you can see me there manipulating the Mirage in roll, and let me just show you the amount of pressure. In fact, there's one other thing I need to do. I need to show you guys the correct screen here with regards to axis input. So just let me grab that for you. We're gonna call it R3. And I'll grab the dev tool app. I'm gonna make this nice and big for you guys. Okay. So, what I'd like you to pay attention to is the degree of precision that you get around the center with regards to this stick. And if I just pull up, say, a Viper air refueling mission, it's going to make the point pretty well, I think, here. Bearing in mind, you know, I don't do a lot of Viper air refueling, so even with me being out of practice, it's ultra easy to air refuel in the Viper with this stick here. Let me grab it. Let's go. Oh, wrong one. Shit. How's it going, Dread Platoon? All issues resolved, dude. Except I've just loaded in the wrong mission. So I'm just going to load back into a Viper air refueling mission here and talk through what I'm doing. And you can actually, you'll be able to see the stick inputs on the graph there. You'll be able to see the hand movements and get an appreciation for how precise this stick is. And in my in my estimation, that's where the money's going for a really intuitive flying experience. No one there. This won't be a very long stream. This is just to cover off on what's happened since yesterday with regards to getting in touch with these guys and them sorting me out. So really happy with the response I got from them. All right, so let's just open the door there. So now it's bang on center. Twitch to DCS isn't working at the moment, guys. Need to update it, but I'll be looking under the visor every now and again to check in. But you can see now that that hands off. It's dead center, no matter where I go, and there's zero play in the middle. Thanks to, I think, the high quality implementation of how the grip attaches to the post, and then the high quality aluminium locking collar that secures the base and the grip together. Rock solid. I'm running 4.45 pounds in pitch and 2.95 pounds in roll with 133% sensitivity in roll. But I'm gonna, now that I've got access to all the different profile selections via that rotary under the trim hat, I will be playing around with different pressures in different aircraft to see if I can get some better results. It's a double-edged sword because, you know, I've been BFMing with the R3 base for so long now that my muscle memory has really gotten used to that pressure in all the different aircraft. So, you know, whether I stick with that or make some changes here and there, I'll have to test some stuff out. But So you can see when the on the Viper, when the air-to-air refueling door is open, it puts the fly-by-wire into a more sensitive mode, and you can see the stick inputs that I'm putting in, and actually how much the aircraft's moving. I mean, it is extremely precise. So the amount of precision there is next level, guys. It's honestly how it's supposed to be. Feels amazing, and I can forgive the cheap switches for how the stick actually flies, because ultimately that is the most important thing. How the stick feels to use when you're formation flying, when you are air-to-air refueling, when you're BFMing. And this stick is the best I've ever felt. In a gaming peripheral, it is just insane how precise it is and how solid it feels. And you can see there, the stick doesn't move. You know, we're talking fractions of a millimeter of movement. Except on hard pulls. But on the tanker here, you can see that the amount of pressure that's going into this is small. Yep. I mean, that was so easy, it's not even funny. Go for a low fly now, we're in Cat 1. Thanks, VD, yeah. Cheers, dude. Hey, Harold, how's it going? I don't have Twitch or DCS in my headset right now, guys, so I have to actually look under the visor at the iPad next to me, so I'm a little bit slow in getting back to messages right now. But this is so intuitive. If you've got the money and you want a realistic Viper experience that I would say is equally good in the Mirage, it will take you a little bit to get used to in the Hornet, because obviously the Hornet, it's not as precise as the fly-by-wire in the Viper or the Mirage. So any jet that has a little bit of sloppiness in terms of how it handles, you know, like a wobble or like a less direct feeling, is going to take some getting used to with this stick. You definitely can adjust to it though. I know some people in the BFM community who, if they've got the R3 FSSB, they will swap out that stick for another stick when they go to fly things like Viper or Helos or Warbirds. I don't. I just use this for everything, and you can definitely adapt to it. But I love the feel of the resin finish. The matte resin finish on the base model is really good, and the precision is just next level. But I'm gonna stop ranting about it now, or raving about it, I should say. I'm just gonna fly around here low level and shut up and let you guys enjoy the show. Try and get these snap rolls, see if I can get better.
Altitude. Pull up.
I'm not an aerobatics pilot, just warning you. They're not gonna sponsor me after I criticize the switches. There may go. But honestly, dude, sometimes not being sponsored is the best thing because you can freely speak your mind, and that's what I did here. I bought it with my own money, and I spoke my mind. But they are really, really good on the customer service front. They got back to me, they gave me exactly the information I needed to fix the problem, and it worked a treat, and now I'm really happy. Yep, there are some concessions to be made in my opinion with how these switches feel, but I can forgive that for how the stick actually flies. It's bloody awesome to fly with. The consumer edition, the collector's edition has exactly the same switches as this one. It's not until you go to the their military product, their military grade product, that you get real military switches. But flying the Viper with this grip and this base feels like as good as you could get in a simulator. I think a consumer sim. Thank you for the follow there, DCS Live. Appreciate that, dude. So if anyone's got any questions about the setup, let me know. I'll try and answer what I can. Doesn't matter what the question is. We'll go ahead and answer some stuff here. I've got a little surprise for you guys coming up soon too. I'm not going to say what it is, but in the next week or so, you'll see. That was already launched, dude. That's been operational for a few weeks now.
Altitude.
I might go BFM AI in the Viper here real quick. See what that's like. I don't have that long, so just get in here and see if we can kill something. Is there any BFM on Syria? No. What about Persian Gulf? No. Falcon, thanks for the raid, buddy. Welcome to the channel. Guys, go give Falcon a follow. He's a very experienced BVR guy in the Viper and a friend of our BFM community. Amazing pilot. He's been flying DCS for about 15 years. All you have to do is right click his name, bring up his profile, and go hit follow. See you later, Mako. Take it easy, buddy. Alright, just going to get in here in BFM real quick, and then I'll probably call it. But yep, the stick is totally fixed.
Air combat training airspace is located straight ahead. Drone aircraft are circling at different altitudes to allow practice attacks with different weapons. You may activate additional drone aircraft or live threats using communications of 10 or
Not buying the gun in this. Give me a second. New grip means new bindings required. Thought I bound it yesterday, but it must have dropped the bindings. Not sure why. I'll buy the rest of it later. Gunworks. He's gonna shoot? Not gonna die? Okay, fine. Doesn't matter. I don't think these die, they're invincible. So it's really nice not having a center detent to move through. You know, like literally, there's no move, there's no play in the stick between left and right bank. Hey, okay. Oh, I'll just land some shots here. Then we're gonna have to put you guys on a raid. Go back on kid duty. But yeah, really happy, guys. Really happy they got in touch and helped me fix the issue. So I'm gonna put everyone on a raid here. Thank you for the follow there, War Thunderbolt. Not sure whether you were just watching the stream or just tuned in, but this is a really short stream today, just to cover off on the RealSimulator update. The stick now centers absolutely perfectly. And I can recommend the kit to you guys. It's a good bit of gear. So alright, stand by for a raid. Yeah, it's precise as you could want, Sarkia. I'll be streaming again at 20 Zulu tonight, guys. So War Thunderbolt, if you want to come back and watch some BFM this evening, feel free to stop by anytime from 2000 Zulu. Let's go find someone to raid here in the DCS category. No one that I know, so I'm going to put you guys on a raid to a guy who actually flew F-15C Eagles in real life. He's a friend of my community. He helps me commentate my BFM tournaments. His name's Guido1212. Give him some love. Yeah, former USAF F-15C pilot, guys. Go and say hi. He's always happy to answer questions about his time flying the Eagle in chat as well. Even though at the moment he's streaming World of Tanks, he's a community contributor for NA, top 1% World of Tanks player as well. So let's go and head in there. Thanks, everyone.